If you're watching this, my friend, I know that you are the kind of woman who already values personal growth. But what I wonder is if you've ever considered that your marriage or your committed partnership may be your most potent portal for doing that work. Yeah. In fact, it's part of the divine design of your relationships. That's what I've come to believe anyway. That your relationship is in very much large part here to invite you into the most important and impactful growth and healing of your life if you know how to recognize and move through it, which most people don't. But that's exactly what I'm going to get into today. Welcome, my friend, to another Catalyst conversation for a relationship revolution, where we challenged the unquestioned assumptions about love, flip the script on what you've always been taught, and reveal the truths that no one's told you. Here, we unlock a whole new paradigm of partnership, one that anchors in consciousness and empowerment and results in the kind of relationships that most people only dream of. And by the way, if you're not part of the Relationship Revolution membership yet, August is the last month to get in at the founding member rate of just $97 a month. I'll share more details later, but there's a link to learn more and sign up in the description of this live stream. So this month, if you've been tuning in, I've been talking about relationship ROI, the return on investment of our relationships, how we can really unlock the potential of what I believe is our most important investment of time, money, energy, love, self, all of the resources that we could be investing in anything in our life. When we invest in our relationship, we get the most impactful, life-changing, sweetest, life-giving returns. And today I want to talk to you about one of the most critical returns on investment from our relationships that I think a lot of us miss. And that is the internal transformation that happens when you choose to lead in love and allow your relationship to be a catalyst for your healing, growth, and becoming. Because again, that is what your relationship is really about, my friend. Not just what it can bring you, but who you become through the crucible, the forge, the fire that is your marriage. Or rather, what creating an extraordinary relationship through the process of relational leadership demands of you, right? That is how you become. As always, this conversation may challenge you, and it may just change your life. Before we get into all the good stuff, I want to take a moment to introduce myself in case you are new to this work. My name is Dr. Jenny Wallig. I am an award-winning relationship mentor, speaker, author, and educator, and I am a disruptor. I am determined to make the world a better place through more conscious and evolved relationships. And specifically, I am committed to supporting entrepreneurial women in having extraordinary relationships, in learning to lead in love, even if their partner is not doing the work alongside them. I work alongside my partner, Calvin, although our relationship didn't get to where it is because he did the work with me. No, I led our relationship there, but now we get to work together. We have created Powerful Love and co-created the 3-pillar Powerful Love method, which is our proven path for saving, healing, and improving your relationship. Again, even if your partner is not ready to do the work with you yet. In these Catalyst conversations and in everything we do at Powerful Love, frankly, the goal isn't just to teach you how to do relationships better. It is to help to redefine how relationships work and unlock what is possible through love. My goal is to empower you, fellow visionary, to create the kind of relationship that fills your heart and fuels your dreams, and to let nothing and no one stop you along the way. Ready? All right, let's get into it. So I want to start by saying that your relationship all relationships, really, all people are mirrors, but your intimate partner relationship, your marriage, more than any other relationship I think that we get into, is a mirror of your own shit. It's not always a flattering mirror. It's not always a kind mirror, but it is always a very revealing one. I'm so thirsty today. It's a hot day. Like I said, divine purpose, right? The divine purpose of our relationship to be that mirror and reveal to us where our growing edge is. I actually have come to believe that we have a soul agreement, right? That our souls, unbeknownst to our consciousness, our souls have agreed to poke one another, to challenge one another in just the right ways, such that we are confronted with the shit that needs to be confronted, to be healed, to be transformed, the shit that needs to be learned, strengthened, and grown within us. That is a beautiful gift that our partners are bringing to our lives, and that really only our partners can bring to our lives, because it is only our partner who sees these parts of us, who activates these parts of us, who we react in those ways to. I mean, sure, let's be real. Our kids, if you've got kids, will bring up their own shit too. And our businesses, when you have a business, brings up their own shit too. In fact, Cal calls that the trifecta of maximum human experience when you are in a marriage and you've got kids and you've got a business, because you are in like the three top avenues of personal growth. Okay. But at the top of that trifecta is your marriage. So what's really important about this is to understand that as you do, right? Like as you do this growth, as you allow yourself to be transformed by your relationship, which we do, by the way, by learning how to lead yourself through those moments, through those opportunities. You're not just learning how to communicate better, right? You are becoming more of who you truly are, more of your best and most radiant self. You're becoming someone braver, someone more whole, more emotionally resilient, more rooted in your self-worth, my love. You are going to be more able to stay present through the storms of life instead of shutting down or fighting and falling apart. This is not a side effect, okay? It is the most powerful return on investment that you get from your relationship. And it is worth every ounce of effort that you put in to your relationship. So, as I was thinking about what I wanted to share with you in this conversation today, there were 3 points, and I've kind of touched on them already, but I really want to consolidate them and make sure that you take these with you. Okay. Point number 1. Your relationship reveals your growth edges. Okay. No personal development book, no course, no Tony Robbins presentation. Okay. Nothing is going to challenge your ego or reveal your next level, like coming up against your differences or your disagreements or your disconnections with someone that you love. Okay. Your partnership, your marriage is going to show you where you're still reactive, avoidant, insecure, or trying to do it all alone, among everything. And again, that is not a flaw. It is a feature. It is a part of the divine design, right? It's not a problem. It is a gift, resource, and opportunity, a trailhead, a signal. And so you must understand that in order to use it, to follow it, to learn from it. This is a paradigm shift. This is an awareness, a decision, a perspective, an understanding, my love, okay? You must understand when you're having that problem, that challenge, that difference, that disagreement, that struggle, that pain. This is an opportunity, an invitation to tune in, to check in. What do I need to grow here? What do I need to heal? What do I need to learn? What is this teaching me? Use it. There's a gift here. You may not see it right in the moment, but there 100% is. And I will tell you, when you start seeing every challenge as a gift, resource, and opportunity, fuck, do things change. I mean, it doesn't make it like not still hard and painful when you're going through it, but you get a hell of a bigger return on the other end, on the other side. And if you don't understand the opportunity, the invitation here, what happens is that that problem, that challenge will drain you, and it feels like your relationship is not giving you a return at all. In fact, the cost benefit is the cost is greater than the benefit, right? I'm speaking in like accounting terms that are not my like my forte. So forgive me if I'm screwing something up. But you get what I mean, right? You're picking up what I'm putting down. Okay, good. So please take this away. Write that one down. Okay. Your relationship is revealing your growth edges, and that's part of the design. Problems are gifts, resources, and opportunities. I have said that one before. I am going to say it again and again and again. I hope that if you listen to me, that is one of the like mantras from Powerful Love, that you are like, one of the things that Powerful Love says. One day I'm going to be on stage and I'm going to be, problems and challenges, or like challenges are not problems. They are. And the audience is going to say gifts, resources, and opportunities. You watch. Know that one. I want you to know that one. Okay. Here's the other thing. Here's number 2. There's 3 of these things that I want you to take away. Number 2, relational leadership. And I talk about this a lot. It's like one of my new favorite terms. I also call it empowered accountability in the work that we do with our clients. But I think sometimes relational leadership is a little bit easier to understand. But anyway, relational leadership is a healing path. Okay. It is a path of courage. It is a path of power and empowerment. Is it a path of alignment? But it is also 110% a path of healing and growth. It is necessary. None of us escape life unscathed, which is to say, all of us have growth and healing to do. And it doesn't end. We never get to a point where we're fully healed. Okay, I'm sure you know that, but I'm saying it anyways. Because if you feel like, oh shit, I thought I was healed, like, nah, and that doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It just means that you're normal and human. So we just keep healing deeper and deeper and growing more and more, and that's beautiful. So to lead with love, right? To lead with love, okay? You have to confront the parts of yourself that want to hide, that want to defend, that want to control. Okay, that are scared, that have been hurt. You have to confront, you have to reparent, you have to soothe, you have to lead all of those parts inside of you, sweetie. And that is such a beautiful thing. That is such a healing and powerful thing. And may we all get better and better at doing that, and doing that in the moment. Okay? God, is it fucking liberating. Oh, I can't wait for you to have that. That growth and that healing is life-changing in every respect of our life. And your relationship will show you where that needs to happen and give you those opportunities to do just that. In so doing, you will have invitations to heal the traumas and the stories that are blocking you from the intimacy, the vulnerability, the connection, the power, the peace that you really desire, that you long for, the happiness that you hope your partner can fulfill, that truly is in your hands. And that love, when you are feeling for yourself, you are going to have more of from your partner. Because they're not going to feel the pressure of having to give it to you. It's going to flow with ease. I just love this. I love this work. I really love this work. I hope you're feeling this. I hope that this is like just unlocking for you, inspiring within you what is possible, and that you can have this too. Okay. Trying to be mindful of the time. Here's the third thing that I want you to take away from this conversation. Who you become changes everything else in your life, because it is you who shows up everywhere else in your life, right? That seems like a no-brainer. It seems like something I shouldn't have to say, and yet it's worth saying, right? Who we are, who you are, affects how you are as a parent, affects how you are as a business owner, affects you who you are as a sister, as an employer, as a team leader, or a coach, or as an employee, or as a community member. In this trifecta of maximum human experience where you're growing all over the place, you master the relational leadership in your marriage. You master the relationships at home. It is going to make parenting easier. It is going to make entrepreneurship easier. It is going to make mental health easier. It is going to make leading your team easier. It is going to make your relationship with finances easier, because you're going to know how to lead in the most important, and actually the often the hardest, the most activating in our nervous system, the part that like creates the most fear of death, really, in our, it's our attachment relationships that stirs up our shit the most. When you can master that, when you can lead that, you become stronger, right? You may have heard me say this before, but I heard this metaphor. It's like when you go to the gym, you're lifting weights, right? It's the same weight that you started with that once felt really heavy, after you have, lifted it for months, now feels really light. And it's not because the weight got lighter. It's because you got stronger. The same thing goes here. You learn to lead with the heaviest weight, which is your relationship with your partner, and the other weights are going to feel fucking easy, and it goes in all directions. As you're parenting, the weight of your, relationship is going to be easier. Your entrepreneurial journey is going to make the weight of your relationship easier too, because you are becoming stronger. But what I have found in this work, my friends, is that a lot of the time, the growth and healing journey that we learn from being business owners and even from being parents doesn't always translate back to who we are as partners or wives. There's something about like this intimate partner relationship, how we are with our spouses, our husbands, our long-term partners, that just like, I know how to be a parent, I know how to be a business owner, but when it comes to this expectation or this relationship with my spouse, there's something different there. And when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sharing household tasks, when it comes to co-parenting together, there's something different there. And there's all kinds of narratives about what it means to be a woman in the world that apply in that dynamic of what it means to be a wife or a partner. I'm not going to go down that trail, but I'm telling you, this top of the pyramid, right? The hardest part of the trifecta, which is our relationship, it is going to trickle down in ways that when we grow in the other layers, don't quite trickle up in the same way. So the point here is that who we become in leading our relationships 100% affects how we lead everywhere else in our life. How we show up everywhere, because it changes who we are, how we feel about ourselves. And you are going to get the greatest return on investment, the greatest ripple effect, by learning to lead in your marriage, with your life partner, with your person, right? You're going to be stronger, better, more powerful, more confident, more healed, more whole, more conscious. we're loving you. And it's a beautiful thing. I like to think about the transformation and when we learn to lead with love, when we learn to lead ourselves in all of our relationships and in all of our life and all of our situations. It's like becoming like a lighthouse on like this steady rock that just continues to shine and be this beautiful guiding light for others, for ourselves, that just stands steady among the crashing waves of life, because waves of life are going to crash. There will be storms, but the storms are going to pass, and you are going to know how to hold steady and lead yourself and lead others through it. And that, my love, is fucking incredible. So I want to tell you a quick story about a client of mine. Gosh, I talk a long time lately. I'm really trying to keep these shorter than 20 minutes, but here we go again. I just want to share a quick story. So I've been working with a client. I'm going to call her Sally. Real client, different name. When Sally started working with me, she was carrying a lot of guilt about who she was and how she wanted to show up in the world, what it would look like to show up authentically. Because showing up authentically for Sally would break a lot of cultural rules. And so because of this guilt, she was playing small, shrinking away in conversations, hiding her truth. She was really quick to defensiveness in her relationships. But after just 4 weeks of working together, she had learned how to lead more powerfully in her relationships and was attending to the parts of herself that needed that healing and that love. And through that work, through greater empowerment and alignment and authenticity, Sally found that she was having easier conversations with her partners, feeling better about herself, was having better and easier relationships with her kids, feeling more confident, and making bigger, better, bolder moves in her business. Because she had changed. The ripple effects were already showing up in beautiful ways. And she was just like beside herself, so astounded by how much better all kinds of things were happening. And really it was the self-work that she was doing. And so I just wanted to share that story because it's so relevant to this conversation we're having about the return on investment of our own growth and healing that happens when we learn to lead in love. So again, when you get good at this, I always like to end kind of like, what happens when you get good at this? When you do this work, like really do it, really get good at it. You don't just feel connected to your relationship, right? You feel more connected to yourself, my loves. You're going to walk taller. You're going to love deeper. You're going to stop shrinking and second guessing and make your decisions confidently and boldly. You're going to know your worth and you're going to own it everywhere. You're going to show up in your business with more clarity and creativity, parent with more presence and less reactivity. How does that sound? You're going to stop waiting for others to give you permission or to be on board because you're going to trust your own leadership and you're just going to go for it. And that kind of woman, she makes magic in her love, in her life, in everything she touches. And that's you. That's your invitation. Now, if you're already part of the Relationship Revolution membership, you're not going to want to miss this week's activation. If you're not inside the Relationship Revolution membership, this is the kind of work that we do every week. We take these conversations and we go deeper because we know that it is not just the learning here that creates real transformation in our lives. It is the connection of dots of like, what does this really mean in my life and how do I apply it? What does it look like? How do I activate this? What do I do with this? How do I put it into practice? And then where am I getting stuck? What didn't work the way I expected it to? And getting the feedback and support to course correct and go the next step beyond that. That is what this membership and community and support container is for, right? We're not here to fix our relationship. We are here to revolutionize how we show up and lead, to expand our power and our presence and our peace through love and through leadership. Again, the founding member rate is $97. That's just available for the next 9 days, till the end of August 2025. So there's a link in the description or the notes or wherever you're finding the information about this episode. This, dear ones, is the work we do at Powerful Love: healing, leadership, transformation through the container of your relationship, even if your partner's not participating with you. Great if they do, not necessary, because either way, each of you is responsible for your own part. I'll see you next week, 12:30 p.m. Pacific, for another Catalyst conversation, live every Friday. Until